Welcome back to the Outlaw Ranch. Thought I'd try to get started on getting these holes re-drilled inside this center section for the Rockwell axle. All I've done so far is just kind of set it down on some 1x2 oak. That way I can punch holes through it and stuff like that. Looks like I'm going to have to clean up this gasket here first. So let's get started on that and see where it goes from there. All right, y'all. That gasket's cleaned up. I used a couple of tools. First thing I used was this die grinder with a wire wheel on it. And that was able to get most everything until I started getting right up into that edge. Once I got into that edge, you can see some of the wires missing there on that inside or on that outside edge. So I wasn't able to get in there. So for the rest of it, I just used a simple wood chisel. This one's pretty hammered, you can see, but that allowed me to get up in here and clean the rest of that inside of that gasket out. So now the gasket's out. Now what we have is this ring here. I've showed you guys this before, and you just drop it on here, line up these 4 holes. There's 2 on either side here. Once you get these 4 holes kind of lined up, you can see we're going to have to pound this down and put some bolts in there. And you can see how all the other holes are lined up. So to actually get this to work properly, we need to rotate this thing around, 180 degrees. And then we'll use these as our guides. The last time I used kind of like a transfer punch and punched through there. It worked. But as you will remember from the last one, some of the holes weren't perfect, and so I had to open them up just a little bit to get some of those studs in there. So this time I'm actually going to use this and drill right through this, I think, into the center section. I'll take a look and see if my transfer punch, if I have a different one, maybe one that's a little tighter so there's less slop, as I'm moving it in that hole. But for right now, we're going to get this rotated around 180 degrees and try and get it bolted down. So stand by. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this flip jig in place. There are some transfer punch marks in there, but just in case they moved a little bit, I chose this drill bit here because it is the same size as the holes in the jig. So I'm going to leave this jig in place. I'm going to go ahead and put one of those bolts through these holes here and start drilling. I'm going to have to open them up, and I know that I am, but this will at least get it started and get those holes as close to perfect as I know how to do it. So stand by, folks. We got some more work to do. All right, y'all. As you can see, all of the holes are drilled. This is the minimum that I could drill them. The drill bit, if you'll remember, is the exact size as the holes that were in the centering ring. And I have a bolt in here to kind of locate this as best I can. They're all drilled. We know that we're going to have to open them up a little bit more, but this will at least get us in the ballpark. And unfortunately, fortunately, I just got called. I got to go do a towing job for somebody. So this is probably going to be it for the day. Again, short video. Hopefully I can get back on this and get the rest of these holes opened up and actually get this center chunk back on the housing over here, flipped like it should be. It just takes time, and these parts, they're big, they're heavy, so it takes a lot to kind of move them around, get them set up. It took me probably 10 minutes just to get this center section on here, as I'm trying to hold it and get it twisted into place and get the the 1-bys underneath it and stuff. So it is a slow process. Thank y'all for sticking with me. I appreciate it. I know I say this every time, just how important it is that you guys and gals would even watch my ramblings and the silly, slow work I do, but I really do appreciate it. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you that would watch this. Please, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe. All of those things really do help with the algorithms, helps us reach a broader base. And I think I answered the last comment I got about talking too much. I hope I didn't talk too much this time. So we'll catch y'all on the next one. Thank y'all.